I want to just start first with what we're seeing globally and the effect that it's having on gold prices. Record upon record upon record. What's your outlook for where bullion goes from here?
You know, as you say, Jennifer, everyone's trying very hard to push the gold price up. You know, what we're seeing is, you know, continuation of de-dollarization, fueled by the actions coming out of Washington and the White House. And on top of that, you know, we've got challenges in the UK. Europe is not in a good place with the French and the Germans, you know, the leaders of the free world, all in a crisis. And of course, Middle East and conflicts in every continent. So, you know, gold price has got a lot of upside still. I always say the risk is on the upside. And it's very much intact, that trend.
How much further do you think it has to go? Because some people believe potentially we've peaked.
You know, everyone has been saying that. You've seen the equities have been softer than the actual bullion price over 2024, but I don't think so. And certainly, I mean, there's a lot of reason why the gold price shouldn't go down. And
why?
And because it's when you try and if you try and look at what it's going to take for us to get back to normality in the global economy today, it's not an easy task, and I think we've seen, you know, damage to the US dollar as a reputational currency, and gold has taken that place. And I think what we've also seen, and a lot of people, because I'm sure it's your next question, you know, bitcoins and all those are not stores of value; they are trading instruments. So gold has really arrived as the ultimate store of value, and people are buying the physical. What we've got to do in the mining industry is catch up with the price of gold.
Well, and I want to talk about some of the trends that we're seeing in the mining industry, one of which being M&A. We've seen a lot of that potential activity at least starting to happen. Is your expectation that will hopefully you know, strengthen the mining industry and get to some of those goals that you're just mentioning there?
So M&A really, you know, we need consolidation rather than M&A, because we've got too many companies running too fewer assets. And so you need to consolidate, whether it's in the mid-tier, bottom tier, or the big players. But I think what it's really telling us is, as an industry, we haven't invested in our future, and we're now seeing what we saw back in the early teens of this century, in that we're chasing growth, inverted commas, through acquisition, and we're paying big premiums for them. And you know, higher gold price makes it look good for a moment, but things normalize.
What does that mean for Barrick's assets then, and especially on the African continent?
Well, all the assets are very valuable. Whatever assets you got, particularly if you're in gold and copper today.
So you're not planning to exit any of the operations?
Definitely not.
Okay.
No, we constantly look at our core assets, because I'm very focused on high quality tier 1 assets, and so there's a market for those non-core assets. But we're a long-term player. We invest heavily in growth, organic growth. We are pointing to a 30% increase in production by the end of this decade, organic growth
at all of your operations
across the group, and that's going to happen without any issuing of shares. In fact, we're buying back shares.
So when are you going to start buying back shares?
We have already started.
Do you plan to continue doing that then?
Absolutely. Certainly where the share price is sitting at the moment, one of the best investments we can make is buy back our own shares.
What do you think, where do you think the share price then has to go?
I think it's got to go up.
Okay, yes, but then what is your goals then for that?
I think, you know, that's the market will judge that, and at the end of the day, what we've got, and we're about to bring out our 2024 results, we have one of the strongest balance sheets in the industry. We were able to buy back our shares, and we're investing all the time in new opportunities. And more importantly, we're about to build out 2 really big mining projects, the expansion in Zambia, doubling production, and then the big gold and copper asset in Pakistan, which is one of the biggest gold and copper mines that haven't been developed yet in the world.
And Mark, I also want to talk to you about another one of your operations that's in Mali. There's been a lot of focus on what's happening, the discussions between the Malian government and also Barrick. What is the next shoe to drop? Where are we at right now in negotiations?
You know, Jennifer, it's been a very sad time for me. I've been in Mali since it was really re-established as a democracy, and I've worked with all the governments since 1992, and I think Mali's got itself in a position where it's really trying to shake out some short-term cash out of the industry, and this industry is the very foundation of its economy. And I think we need to, and so communication, to your point, is really important.
Right.
We are in communication. We are working we're making progress, not as fast as I would expect it, but I'm sure everyone is a little cautious because that's what happens when you get on the wrong side of everyone.
So you haven't agreed to a number or to paying back any of what?
No, we haven't reached an agreement on anything yet, but we are making progress, and I think that's the positive of these engagements.
Thank you so much. We have to leave it there. Mark Bristow, the CEO of Barrick Gold, joining us here at Africa Mining in Daba.